serious conversation about narcissists. There was a concern, very intelligent narcissist who said, just why all of the finger pointing at narcissists and getting on their cases, leave them alone. And it's like, of course, but we are in a place where sometimes we get caught up in having to work with some people and or have a relationship which isn't too far off, really, romantic relationship. How about, what if you accidentally reproduce with one of these people, which there shouldn't be such a thing as an accident. Be more conscious about what we're doing, get up above the level of the animal, which is better than the mind. We are dealing with human mind, and I agree. Leave it alone. Leave those kinds of people alone. That's what they're saying. Just, man, some people, she was saying, she had it all down pat. She's like, these people, all this talk about them on this planet, and I think that you should really just leave them be. I mean, allow them to have their level of consciousness where they are. And it's like, yeah, of course, no, of course, that's what's going on. But okay, so then, yeah, that, that is just a fact. You can't drag them. We're not trying to change them. The thing is, serious subject matter, to tell you the truth. I mean, why? See, this is where I'm at. Is why? How do people get caught up with them? It's their makeup also. They have a deficit also. They are under the impression somehow that about existence itself. When you assume the human flesh, now you are programmed either to reality or to the mind, right? I mean, that's a really just a basic way to say it, but we have a choice, really. This is what's a trip, moment to moment. And so the narcissist never gives themselves that choice. You can see them right in front of your face juggling issues, and it's like, this is not even an issue unless you don't separate your mind out. And the handicap of thinking that your mind particularly is not going to handle something, um, isn't handling something. See, I've never had to, I've never hung myself up on people, even though I love people. My interaction with them is 100%. There's just a presence that we need to maintain. Why are we here? It's kind of tricky, people are, like I said in the beginning, they are fooling themselves, living a fairy tale, and this is being handed down to them. And I'm wondering, okay, I'm saying that women are prone. What I've seen personally is women completely destroyed by, you can call it a narcissist. There's different kinds for sure. And now I want to say sociopath. Because, see, narcissists are unconscious in their way that they just are programmed to do the stupidest thing. It's like, no, that's what a kid does. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, like, you can't just reach for that. The sign says do it like this. There's rules and there's a way to play the game. And really, it gets as serious as there's human ethic. Like, you just don't walk in on people like that. It kind of bleeds into Facebook, where some people don't realize, it's like, you can just change this channel. You don't go on there and say, that was stupid. Just get out of here. Get out of my room. Okay, immature people that had their boundaries broken, and so they think that that's how to live. It's like, no, go try to get in a real life relationship with somebody, and then start making moves to improve things there. Good luck. You have to improve yourself. Just, figure out why you want somebody there in the first place. Anyway, God, I love people. And, I love to share. I would love to share. Wouldn't you? Empaths are so lame that way. And there's the extreme one way or the other. So, boy, this conversation, I originally wanted it to bring that the only concern we have is really like, okay, for God's sakes, don't reproduce with that. Just know that's not really the problem. Just know that you can't get them to cooperate with anything, not even if rolling a golf ball down a gutter, straight and narrow, and getting it to go out of another side was the only thing you had to do day in and day out. They couldn't manage it. And I'm not being stupid and saying you need to start using your imagination on this. Narcissists won't. If they do, they are there to cut you down. And I'm telling you, the sociopath is there to kill you. The narcissist is creating now. There's narcissists. It's harsh language. You gotta be ready. They are creating dead bodies. They are not happy unless the body is dead. And now we're getting into, what do you mean? Man, I don't like to go gender, lean towards, God, I'm short of words. Pluto square my Mercury-Uranus conjunction. It's like living in the ghetto here for a while. Anyway, let this pass. But anyway, talking about, well, the top scholars that brought us all of our terms that we use about narcissism today have pointed at male gender being susceptible. I can see they are the narcissist. Really, there's a story, if you look it up, I'll try to put it here. It's about narcissist and their opposite, who is Echo. The story of Narcissus, whatever his name is, he is amazed by his reflection in the lake there, looking at himself, but there's a story about it. See, Echo is a female that kind of calls for him, and he goes, well, wait a minute, all right, I'm going to go over here. And she is the ruined feminine part that they may be going round and round like this. I'll find the story here. Now, I didn't get near the point where what I wanted to say. But except for, this is a serious subject matter. When the little girl on Facebook says, she's trying to be smarter and saying, just leave them alone, and it's not your problem, to be balanced. It's like, this little girl has never been isn't awake and doesn't care enough for your human relationships to have noticed that there are just about two types of people to look at, and that's people that you can feel that they're available because you're available, and now it's safe to interact, or they simply are not. And that's why we're concerned, little girl, and people, and that's a question not of their trusting them. It's a matter of you putting your faculties together. My mother couldn't stay in front with the abuser that she was with, and there was physical abuse that I saw it, and I'm questioning, did that happen while I was in her womb? If that's the case, I am born with trauma. I'm dealing with, and this is 909. Phew! Talk about a spillover. What do I get? But just forgiving myself and saying, fuck, it's not even your programming, babe. That was just something that went on. Can you let go of it? And that's why I am the way I am today. Really, I just say, I demand reverence, especially from the men thing. It's like, I know that, who cares? Yeah, who cares, little girl? Leave them alone. They're out there. They seem to have some kind of trip, and they want to bash you on the head for some reason. Why? I have always just mounded my own bowel's nose. See, I can talk like it. Why have I feel a little? I always say that. Minded my own business. Is there a mound? We mounded. No, we minded. I don't know. What was it? A past tense mind. Okay. I've always mounded my own business, and as a result, I do have a mound. In my closed off quarters, I have things to share. Yes, I know how to cook, and I know how to keep care. Boy, there's a self-organizing intelligence. Really, I know how to play music, and don't tell me to go and cook and clean in the kitchen and play at the same time. Shite. Ask me to do everything over here. Musicians in the kitchens. Boy, I lost it now. I apologize. Narcissist, the subject matter is no fun. It's a very low vibrational frequency. But to simplify it for people, because the mind is so complex and so is our language and wording, and it's like, nah, you can break it up. They hide in your misunderstanding about what words really are. You have a lot of people, when I say you, babe, I'm talking about whoever falls and gets so enmeshed in it. That's why you're listening to it now. You're like, about these narcissists. I can't imagine getting so entangled, babes. I mean, now there is the form of narcissism which all it is just it's a very primal instinct of survival. I need to survive, and I'm going to manipulate this situation, these people, into me. And sometimes it's just at all costs. Now, at all costs can happen with a paraplegic or somebody who is rendered literally physically handicapped. And nurses inside of hospitals, if you go there and witness them, they are paid, and they also are skilled in knowing how to humor the narcissistic bent. Everybody there is trying to manipulate them. Besides for, okay, so if it's the elderly and it's a man, the nurses there are putting up with the mentality plus, but not excluding women, babes. But you catch my drift. It comes from having to resort back into it. And God, it should never happen on this planet that the handicapped have to manipulate people to get a glass of water to them because they don't have legs and they can't get there. Why would they have to manipulate? Somebody alive there with a heart who is an empath. Boy, don't put them in a room full of these people because they might start taking care of them and you don't have to give them a single dime. And they would just run themselves down until they're dead and give us 4 days. But in my personal lives, you don't see it on Facebook. You don't see anybody's personal life on Facebook, and nor do you see any of that on YouTube here. I could post one person who I helped. I mean, it's just one out of millions. You're not supposed to toot your own horn, but it's like, who is going to? Because the narcissist isn't a good witness. They're not really there to reality. A witness to reality. What went on in reality, actually, that unfolded? Something that you had no control over. And that is the space that's just beyond your nose. It's just a safe place for a narcissist to go. I say Narzia or Narsa because who is that person? We'll find the video right here, okay, and I'll put it up for you. Watch it. Somebody explains. I think it's Richard Granite. He does a really short subject matter on, like, look at this story, where it comes from, and then the female side of us. Really, it's just being human being like this. I mean, until you open yourself up, then now you have soul, I guess. You're aware of your psyche and soul and stuff. I don't know. There's an order to this. I can bother to get it together for us now. But thanks for listening to this. I just thought it was important to reiterate how important it is. That's why, as well as, you don't dwell on it. You just, the important thing to know is how to keep your vibrational frequency on high, that you just realize what has happened. If you have been enmeshed, that you can heal. See, I am unlike a lot of the therapists that are males out there, Richard Grannon, and so does Sam Vaknin. They don't talk very positively about possibly healing narcissism, and I say, bullshit! The key is in women. If it's mainly males that are ending up narcissistic. There's a reason. It's because they're not being exposed right in the beginning to what? Everything. They are being manipulated. Somehow they're being held too much. They're being held back, and they're being in their minds. You can find it happening out there where people are too emotionally absent. They don't have emotional guidance system, let alone communications. So the complaint there is that they're using money. This is where the gift giver narcissist is. They're using money to buy in that closeness through a human need. It could be that you need food, or that and see, they want to get close to you. You might have some chemistry, but they are completely checked out. Their human side has been systematically and vacated out of them. They've been trained as a small child, and there's a way that it happens. It's through just praise. It's literally training like an animal. There's another narcissist there that wants attention through the child getting attention. So when the child exhibits something that is, even if it's the child's own, like the child all of a sudden knows how to paint really amazing, the parent is liable to ruin that child with that, sending him into just putting all his eggs in one basket, so to speak. It's really hard to describe the mechanics of what happens when they favor the child doing some cerebral thing, but now it's time to put that down and be emotionally available. There's a human need there. The person needs to be held or something like this. You know what I mean? It's not their hobby, and they're not doing that painting anymore. I'm a human, and I would like to talk to you in a certain way, and they're just not available. It's not paying them off because a narcissist is stupid. It's just not a payoff for them. Don't go there. You please me over here. That's what's going on. It's just narcissists live in a very primitive game of energetic pinging, and it's just they're very frightened of it's hard to explain, but thanks for sitting through 17 minutes of this. Oh my God. I hope it's raining where you are. You are doing laundry or something. Thanks for listening to this, you guys. I hope you are privileged enough to be alone enough to genuinely love each other, enough to be present with each other no matter who they are. Just give them the essence of being present. Because that's the different way. There's just two kinds of people here. People that aren't living in the present, and people who are just simply living. That's who's alive. The only alive is now. Body of Christ.